Good morning, everyone. Once more, I want to apologize for not being able to make it to the Cameroon Youth Assembly. It was all planned for this to happen, but unfortunately, something came up and I had to travel for work. I really want to thank Anang and the team for doing an amazing job. I have been following up what has been happening. And I must say that I'm very grateful that you all could make it there for this amazing event. The first day, from what I followed, was amazing, even though it was quite tired of, but I think I still had to follow. And normally we're supposed to have a very engaging conversation, but unfortunately still I could not make it, which I apologize once more. But I think that there are just few things which I would like to highlight relating to what I had to talk about, which of course was which is a critical issue, which is around nation building. It's around how do we do things differently. Last year I spoke a bit about this during the last event in Boya last year, and I think it's all about you. The nation building starts from us. It doesn't start really from the government, even though they might fail to do what we want. But I think that we need to not just look for a space on the table or try to involve with them, but I think we can create our own space, just like what the Cameroon Youth Assembly is trying to do, creating their own space with little or no support, but they are making it work. I think that's the kind of energy we are talking about. And sometimes before you create your own space, you need to learn from others, and that's where the whole idea of mentorship comes in, the whole idea of service and volunteerism comes in, because if you don't learn appropriately before you start creating your own space, the challenge is that it might be shrinking the space for support, it might be shrinking the space for credible work. And so I think it's very important that we start by thinking in this path. Think of, how do we learn to start up something which would be sustainable, something which will get the level of mentorship that is necessary for us to live long. Because to build a nation is not a day, to change a system is not a day, to make the world a better place is not a day. It takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of sacrifice, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of resources to get this done, which sometimes we don't have. And that's why my first thing I am suggesting is that we ourselves are the first resources that we need to mobilize to build the nation. And by resource I mean, if they give you money when you are not ready, it means nothing. So you need to mobilize yourself as a resource in that. Can you turn on the volume? In that you need to mobilize yourself as a resource, in that you create. I'm sorry for what happened. So that you give yourself an opportunity to learn, you give yourself an opportunity to know what to do and when and how and who to connect with. I think you are the first resource to mobilize. From there, when you are that ready, then we can start talking about financial resources. We can start talking about you having people who could be able to support you. But we cannot build a nation when we ourselves are not serious, when we spend our time complaining, when we spend our time hating on people, when we spend our time criticizing people without thinking positively. I always make this analogy of my career and looking at Lionel Messi in football. I love football a lot, and Cristiano Ronaldo is my crush when it comes to football. And I used to hate Messi for no good reason, but because he used to score the goals, he used to make it happen. And I realized that I was getting sick, I was getting stressed up because he keeps making it happen, and I spend my time to, not want to see him, want to criticize him and all of that. But one day I sat and I asked myself, who am I hurting? Is it myself or Messi? Messi is succeeding every day. Why I spend my time criticizing? And because I'm comparing him with another person, why not take him for who he is and love him and wish that he becomes better? I think from that day I made that decision. I think a lot of us find ourselves in such a space where we criticize people that we know nothing of. We hate people we know nothing of. We say things about people we know nothing of. And their success becomes our stress, whereas their success is supposed to be our inspiration. So if we want to build this nation, I think that's one thing which is very important. I took that decision to let go. Even when people say what the thing they are saying, you let it go, because just like they say about you, that's how someday someone's going to talk about them. So it's just a circle. But for you to live long, for you to make things work, that's how it's supposed to look like. I think another thing about building, it's about having a team. It's about creating a group of people. It's about engaging with people that you believe that together you could build you could build a nation in the way you think. And usually I've met with a lot of people who say it's hard to build a team. Yes, it's very true, but I think it's hard to build a team because we don't find a common factor within the team. Sometimes we want to build team because we think it's just about people who have interest in what we do. You can't speak to people's heart, so you cannot really tell that this person is passionate about maybe women's rights or whatsoever, or this person is true to your heart. You cannot build a team, especially in the space of social enterprises, because someone knows how to do the job. Because sometimes when the person is good at the job, you cannot pay the person as well. You might not have the resources to pay the person. But to build your team, building a team is about offering trust. That's the first thing, which is very important. The second thing is about, look, for me, about my team based on religious connotation, about how you fear God, how you respect God before skills comes. And this has actually worked, even though we still have challenges. But my advice is, to build a nation, we need to build a team. And because when you build a team and the vision goes through, each person in the team has a family and bears a generation. So it means that you're impacting your team already. Even if it's 2 people, you're already doing nation building very effectively. Because from your team, when the vision is shared, it can go bigger, it can go national, it could do much more work. So, and I think that's one thing which is very important about team building, about offering trust. Another thing which it's very important in building the nation, it's about being very vigilant and being able to identify the kind of people that you believe would be able to help you out. And sometimes identify these people is not about how good, how well dressed they are, how smart they talk, or how handsome or pretty they are. But it's about values. Values are very important. Moral and ethical values, they are very, very important. And if you look at them as your benchmark for friendship, if you look at them as your benchmark for partnership, if you look at them as your benchmark for mentorship, life is going to be much more easier for you and the people that you work with. So to build a nation, to me, these are some of the things that are very important in your own little way. And when you create this, when you understand these things, you realize that you create your own space. And when you create your own space, people are going to follow you. And when people follow you, then you need to uphold leadership qualities, which includes humility, which includes watchfulness, which includes foresightness. You need to be able to have foresight of what could happen. What your 5 years going to look like, what your 10 years going to look like, what people around you think. And you need to be very intuitive, which is also very, very important. At work, we use the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership as our Bible, leadership Bible, and that's what we read, that's what we practice every day, that's where we train ourselves every day on all the skills which are in this book. I would advise that you, in your business, in your team, in your NGO or whatsoever, you need to look for such things that builds you. Another thing about it, it's about building your team to be much more connected and friendly, which is very important. It's one thing I learned, because we can only build a nation when the team sees the importance of team building as well, and you show them as a leader. And that's why among us we do organize our house parties, we do organize retreats, we do organize time for B2B, one-on-one conversation, and all of that. And this really do help us, and for the work that we've been able to do so far, it is thanks to all of this, and it's thanks to all the support. And I feel very pleased to have been able to engage with you people today through this video message. And I wish I could make it, but unfortunately I could not make it. And I'll be around in 2 days time. But if there are any questions, you could drop through the organizers, or you could maybe shoot me a WhatsApp message. The organizers could share with you my WhatsApp, and from there I think that we could get to have more conversation and get to do much more Once more, I want to thank the organizers for making this possible. I know it's very challenging to them. I know it's been very difficult to mobilize the resources and all of that. I want to thank them for the good work they are doing, and to say that they should keep on doing, because this is what we need for our generation. This is what we've been having every day. It's like what has to keep us and make us much more better, especially in the difficult context that we are from. And for all those who have suffered from pain, heartbreak, or whatsoever because of the current crisis which is currently going on, I want to extend my heartfelt sincere sympathy for you, and also say that we have a God who lives, and we can be able to do more. So thank you all very much, and I hope that this message goes through. My name once more is Achaleke, and I'm the National Coordinator of Local Youth Corner, and I serve in other capacities, national, internationally as well. And I'm currently working with the Foreign Ministry here in Finland, and I'm almost finishing my task here, and it's really a pleasure. Thank you very much.